Welcome to the Imbalance Podcast, a place where we navigate the struggles and perks of single mom life, the ebbs and flows of my work in the beauty industry, quality relationships, working through personal traumas, and finding our higher purpose. Sounds like a lot of struggling? Well, it is. So grab a drink and let's try and balance it together, because who said we have to navigate through this chaos alone? Welcome to the Inbalance Podcast, your weekly dose of mom brain, unfinished tasks, work fatigue, and simply trying to balance the unbalanceable with me, Kat, your host. Happy New Year to you all. Welcome back if you are an avid listener. And if you aren't, welcome. All right, so New Year 2025 feels very refreshing to, get a chance to start fresh again. And I am kind of a cliche person where I feel like at the beginning of the year, I just want to, have goals set. And I kind of talked about this on my TikTok, but I said that this is the year of refining things for me. Um, Not specifically based off of year 2024 to 2025, but just my age and in general. I feel like each year, you get a little bit more clarity, a little more confidence, and a little more understanding of where you want to be and where you need to be and what you need to do. So for me, it's just about refining the things that I put into place last year. I feel like I have set myself up for that, and so I'm feeling really good about it. I hope that you guys figured out what you want to be working on for this year, and I feel like everybody has room, right? If you were an asshole last year, maybe you're trying to work on this year understanding how you were an asshole so you don't be one this year. Or maybe you weren't that last year and you want to outline this year the same way you did last year so that you have a prosperous year or however it ended for you. So, yeah, I feel like, every season or every year, whatever works best for you, we should be working on how to make our experience just a little bit easier. So, with today's episode, I feel like maybe this will be a great thing that you could put in your toolbox that can help you kind of prosper and become a better version of you this year and the years to come. And this came from something that I read. I can't even remember where I read it, but I wrote it in my notes because I thought it was an interesting correlation. And basically, it's about accepting challenges, right? And we often shy away from challenges, or at least I know I do, because they feel uncomfortable. And I really hate feeling uncomfortable. It's like painful for me to feel uncomfortable. Okay. If you know me, I like to operate on a very like mid to low kind of vibration. And accepting challenges does not fit into that category. What I read was that people that are good at resisting stress share similar traits. And those traits are that they show a sense of commitment, exhibit a belief in control, and are willing to accept challenges. So, what stuck out to me is the resisting stress because I feel like I feel like I absorb stress, right? And then I saw that the people that resist stress are good at accepting challenges. And that made me realize that because I know I don't like challenges or anything that makes me feel uncomfortable, that is what causes more stress. So I'm like, wow, like I actually need to lean in to obviously the things that make me more uncomfortable so that I can resist stress. And I just found that the way that that information was read, or I just found that the way that information was put together was kind of like a light bulb for me. So now that I know this and you know this, how can we move forward in changing the way that we think of challenges and, to the point where we accept them and lean into them? This is how we grow. This is how we grow as, a person, our development. We have to continue to challenge ourselves or to be challenged by things so that we can break out of our norm. Um, if we're ever faced with anything that makes us think outside of the box, or something that pressures us into taking progressive steps that we wouldn't have taken on our own, then we can think challenge for that. So I want to share with you guys some strategies that I found to help us accept challenges, take on challenges, and learn and grow from them. The first strategy is to work through challenges is first accepting them. Just like everything else, just like people and what they come with and their personalities, in order to deal with all of that, you have to first accept who they are. So we have to accept what the challenge is, and that it is going to be a challenge, but you're accepting that you're going to still move forward. That will help us create a more positive attitude. For example, when I'm at work, sometimes I'm not, and I know I'm going to do a color correction. I'm almost, daunting. It's daunting to me because I'm like, oh my God, it's going to take so long. It's going to be tiresome. And you do all this work and then you don't even know if the end result will necessarily be what the person wants. Because when you're dealing with a color correction, you're dealing with outside factors that can change the outcome of the whole experience that I don't have control over, right? So when I'm having a difficult time, so instead of me feeling like, ugh, this is going to suck, it's going to take forever, blah, 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 I can think to myself, like, first of all, this person came to me because they trust me to fix their problem. And so to fix this problem, what are the things that I need to do? So then I start planning, and that's like the next strategy as far as taking on challenges is like now you know what you need to do. So you start planning how you're going to execute it in order to achieve the goal that you're trying to get. So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, instead of thinking about how long the entire process is going to take, think about, one part of the head at a time. So I have to be like, okay, I'm going to be foiling this back section. This is going to take me this amount of time. And then I'm going to check the foils after this amount of time, and I'm going to relax. I'm not going to speed through it. If I need to take a water break, if I need to take a bathroom break, if I need to take a lunch break, I'm going to do that during these times. And repeat those steps. So again, planning the process, planning what you're going to do, and breaking that process into smaller steps will help us get to the goal more easily. The next strategy is to take into account of what you have to help you. So think about the tools and resources that you have to help you face that challenge.
Hey all, some of you may already know this, but besides being your podcast host, I'm also a cosmetologist. I have been in the beauty industry for the past 12 years, and I specialize in curly hair care, hair cutting, and coloring in the Northern Virginia area. My books are open, and if you'd ever like to book an appointment with me, please visit my website at www.kathlena.com. I also offer an adult and child versions of my ebook, Your Natural Hair Wash and Go Style Guide, which provides key information behind the science of hair, step-by-step wash, condition, and styling process, product recommendations, and more. Purchase right now and enjoy $10 off, no code required. Now back to the show.
Another example of, outsourcing is I started asking my friends like really small things like that I need help on. For example, if someone sends me a text message about something, and instead of me just like replying right away to something that I feel like may need more thought, I'll ask them, I'll be like, hey, like, how do you interpret this? And what I'm going to say, does that answer the question well? Does it still sound, upbeat? Like, is there any shade around what I'm saying to make sure, I'm not coming off in a rude way or anything like that? And I started doing that with certain things, certain very small things with friends, and it's been very helpful because sometimes, like, especially when you're in the service industry and you have people hitting you up left and right, asking you all types of questions about things, sometimes how they ask you in what capacity. And it also matters like what platform they're asking you on, what time of the day I'm reading the information. Like a lot of this stuff sometimes comes into play of like the context of like how you respond or how you take it. And sometimes you need like some fresh set of eyes to help me navigate like what's the best way to get to the point of this conversation, you know? So that's what I mean in my case by outsourcing our tools. Or if I'm at work and sometimes we ask each other, like, hey, like, can you look at this real quick? Like, what would be your process if you, from what the client told you, how would you go about it? I mean, we do that all the time, you know, like this being a creative field means that you can get to your end goal many different ways. And sometimes you just need more direction and someone to be like, no, this is going to be the quickest, most efficient way to get to this. We don't need to be playing around with A, B, and C. And then, you know, after you figure out how you're going to get through the challenge, you take it on, you go for it. After you do that, you want to sit back and reflect on, did I go about this? Do I feel like I went about this the right way now that I have that hindsight? Would there have been an easier way to go about this? Did I learn anything from this experience? Like, did I really need to do that? I feel like we probably get a lot of that. Like, did I need to learn that, or did I need to go through that to learn what I think that I learned? Again, make those situations worth your time and experience, because challenges are supposed to be something that's going to help you. You do not want it to be something that's going to set you back or make you feel like it took all of your energy and took everything from you for, you know, no reason. Now that we've worked through that, I feel like we can use this same advice to help us set and achieve our personal goals. And as many of us already know, you know, goal setting is almost key to setting the goal. You know, like if we don't have some type of structure of how we're going to get to point B, then sometimes it's really hard to even see that point B become possible. And then that's why a lot of times we fall off of things because we don't have like plans towards that goal set. And of course, you want to be realistic with what you're setting. Like you want to have somewhat of an outline of year, you know, retirement. But you also want to have your year 1, year 5, year 10 in front of that. Those are going to be more specific because, you know, goal setting holds us accountable. And if you're telling yourself, hey, I want to save this amount of money in 6 months, like how can you expect to save that if you haven't started planning how you're going to get there? And, you know, that leads me into, I started working with a financial advisor this year. She was actually on my podcast like earlier in the year, Miss Kina. So shout out to her. And I know I have her pulling her hair out, unfortunately, but that was something that I knew I needed to do like a long time ago to get my finances in order because everything is just chaos. You know, when she started helping me set up and organize my finances, when you learn a new skill, it kind of pours into other parts of your life, because if I'm learning how to be more organized and be more conscious of spending habits and things like that, then I'm going to be more organized and conscious about other like habits and things that I have outside of finances. So that is the good thing about like when you seek help and you outsource, you realize that other parts of your life start kind of coming into place as well. And again, because of that, it's helping me with my anxiety, because now that I've planned things, I know where things are supposed to go and what I'm supposed to be doing. So there's less of the what if, because that is what anxiety is. It's the what if. And if you can eliminate that, then your stress levels are going to be down, which brings us back into a person who resists stress is a person who accepts challenges. You see how I did that? Maybe next time, you know, a challenge is presented to you, you can be like, challenge accepted, let's go. And yeah, I know that's what I want. That's how I want to think about it, because I can't always just be stuck in my bubble and just think that like nothing's ever going to be uncomfortable. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and be sure to like and share and subscribe and review whatever works for you. And I will see you guys next time. Let's stay connected. You can find me on Instagram at imbalancedwithkat or on my website, imbalancedpod.com. Give me a follow or a podcast review, and I'd love to share it on air. Thanks again for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show.